Coming up this afternoon, member of NDC communication team in a critical condition over chaos between NDC and NPP at the Agona West EC's office in the ongoing limited registration exercise. We have details of what led to this. Also, meanwhile, 15 persons injured, 5 among them reportedly hospitalized after masked men attacked the Electoral Commission's registration center at the Okankwe North constituency. And as we celebrate International Equal Pay Day today, we put a spotlight on the salary gap between females and their male counterparts. As it emerges, women are paid 34.2% less than men in Ghana. We've been interrogating the issues and been finding the way forward. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is @Nana Aisha. Please stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. The Agona West NPP constituency organizer Sam Toys has been accused of allegedly inflicting cutlass wounds on NDC member in the ongoing limited registration exercise. A member of the NDC is in critical condition over chaos between the NDC and NPP at the Agona West EC's office in the ongoing limited registration exercise in the central region. Speaking to Adom News, Deputy Agona West NDC constituency organizer Samuel Ametepe, who witnessed the incident, expressed his disappointment and blames the EC for the chaos. He adds they're going to face the NPP boot for boot till the end of the limited registration exercise. Let's get onto the phone and speak with Adom News correspondent Kofi J, who's been monitoring this for us. Kofi, first, what led to this confusion between the officials of the NPP and the NDC?
According to the NDC communication officer who spoke to me, he told me that after every registration, both parties form a queue with stones ahead of maybe the next day, whilst others also form queue with plastic chairs, because both parties are mobilizing their supporters from the villages to the Electoral Commission office to register for the next day. So after every registration day or after a day activity, they normally use stones and plastic chairs and other materials to form a queue for the next day. So that was what was happening yesterday. The incident happened around 9:30 to 10 p.m. They were forming another queue, as I earlier said. That is where the NDC people were also coming to the scene or coming to the venue to also form their queue. But according to them, one of the NPP members was parked his car at the shoulder of the road, so they confronted him to remove his car so that they can also bring their stones and their plastic chairs to form a queue for the next day. And the NPP secretary failed to do so to remove the car. That caused the misunderstanding between them. So according to the NPP, the NDC members started insulting them that they have mismanaged the economy, they have spoiled Ghana, and that is where the fight started. And in the course of the argument, according to NPP, they are also alleging that they attacked the NPP organizer Sam Toy. That is where they also went to their car and bring another offensive weapon and attacked the NDC member.
Seen very disturbing pictures of the supposed injured. What is the condition of the injured communication officer of the NDC?
As I'm speaking to you now, he's currently receiving treatment at Agona West Government Hospital. He was rushed to the facility yesterday, but he's still on admission as I'm speaking to you now. But police has not arrested anybody yet.
What is the EC saying about this?
They are not saying anything about it. They are just conducting their exercise today. As I'm speaking to you now, they are conducting their exercise. So I think they have left the matter to the police to deal with the matter. We are waiting for the police to comment, and as we all know now, police doesn't speak to the media. So.
All right, Kofi J is our Dome News correspondent. Definitely will bring you more on this. But back here in Accra, many first-time voters eager to be registered in the limited voters registration stayed overnight at the Okankwe North District office to avoid long queues in the morning. They hoped the exercise will run smoothly. Little did they know that they were putting themselves at risk. 15 persons have so far been injured. 5 among them have reportedly been hospitalized after marksmen stormed the Electoral Commission's registration center at the Okankwe North constituency. They attacked people who had queued to be registered. This is a report by Prince Owusu and read to you.
So when I was running and they hit the stick, they threw the stick and it hit my legs.
That is Gifty Dogwe. She was brutally attacked by unknown men in the early hours of Sunday morning while waiting for a turn to be registered.
As I tried to wake up again, I couldn't, so I fell again. But that one, I fell on the stone.
Her legs failed her as she ran.
And it ended me this way. All my legs is paining me, it's shivering. I can't walk.
According to some eyewitnesses, the unidentified men attacked them and bolted away with more than 11,000 Ghana cedis and mobile phones. Elon Marion Deborah lost $100.
Our phones, our money, a lot of people's money has been stolen. My phone, iPhone, I have $150 at the back in the case. It's stolen. My colleagues' phones and money as well. Everything has been stolen.
There were no security personnel available when these people were attacked. The NDC constituency chairman for Okankwe North, Gregory Kwashi, says the incident has been reported to the police for investigation.
I personally drove some of them to the Achimota police station. So as we speak, some of them are still there being interrogated by the CID. Other members are first going to lodge official complaints. Some have been given the medical form. So the one at Test 7 has the medical form, another at Achimota Hospital.
Some police officers arrived after the attack. Meanwhile, some first-time voters have expressed concerns about waiting long hours in the queue, while others allege that members are being assisted by some political parties to jump the long queues.
You could see some people are quarreling, some people are taking things not easy here. Everybody is trying to find his way early to go home. That's the problem here.
How them I do for you know me, I know the bab. Yeah, them do like them be heroes.
They've already been called by civil society organizations and some political parties to decentralize the ongoing voters registration exercise, which is currently limited to the EC's district offices. A report by Prince Owusu Ansa read to you.
Joining me via Zoom right now is Mr. Paul Mensah Abrampa. He is with Codeo. He's joined us for more on this. Mr. Abrampa, I'm grateful for your time. First, let me gauge your mood on how the exercise has been so far.
Well, good afternoon, and let me say, for what we've seen, we can say the patronage there is high, of course, from what we're seeing from the television. So as I did indicate and to other interviews, I said it will be good for us to have a data breakdown as to the composition of people who are registering. Where are they coming from? Do we have also people from the hinterlands who are part of the queues to register at the district offices? Because don't forget, the argument from the political parties and some civil society organizations have been the worry of our fellows in the rural areas, accessibility issue, cost issue, and therefore the fears were that they may not be able to join, travel to the district to register. Yes, we are seeing the numbers, it will be very good for us to get a breakdown of the data as to where the people registering are coming from.
Mr. Brampa, this afternoon we are hearing of machete wounds, and also here in Accra we are hearing of people being attacked, 15 being hospitalized. I mean, are you worried about some of these incidents we are recording?
Very, very worried because, as we always say, among the three phases of the electoral process, the phase that record always most violence is the registration phase. So we're thinking entering into the 8 rounds, a cycle of elections in Ghana, in the Fourth Republic, some of these occurrences will reduce. But even with limited voter registration that is taking place just in 268 districts, we are still witnessing some of these violence. Don't forget what happened in 2020, that in some of the constituencies, to the extent that alleged certain MPs pulled guns and were shooting. People got injured and other things. So if these same things are repeating for limited voter registration, that the EC is targeting just 1.5 million, then the worry is still there and it's deepened. We should be worried as a country.
Who should we blame then? The Electoral Commission?
Not at all. I overheard some commentators saying because the registration is taking place in very few areas, that is the cause of the violence. But when you look into our election activities, the phases, the election phase, the voting day, the post-election environment, we always record violence during registration exercises. And you remember what happened at 10, what happened at Agona West, and those places. All these places were days that we recorded the violence. What happened at Abrekuma and this environment. So election registration period are a period that we should be very careful, that the security should be alert and based on intelligence, deploy more men to the registration, especially now that we are doing it very few registration centers. One will expect that the security will be beefed up because then we have the numbers to manage just 268. So I don't just buy into the allegation of few district causing the most violence. It's something that's associated with our electoral phases, especially during voter registration, and therefore we expect security to be built in all registration periods.
Mr. Paul Abrampa, I'm grateful for your time. He's project lead with CODEO. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission's decision to proceed with the limited voters registration exercise at its district offices, despite concerns from interested parties, has raised questions about the transparency in the process. The exercise, which began on September 12, expected to end on October 2, with a target of registering over 1 million new voters, has drawn criticism of possible disenfranchisement of voters due to the tedious nature of the exercise. MP for Bolsa South, Dr. Clement Apak, and Vice President of Imani Ghana, Kofi Bentel, argue that it may not be within the EC's authority to determine how the exercise should be conducted. But listen to Deputy Director of Electoral Services at the EC, Dr. Sribo Kwaku, providing explanation for the decision.
The Commission has been mandated by the Constitution to perform certain functions, and the Commission has no choice but to obey or to perform such functions. If the Commission does anything contrary to what it has been mandated to do, then that becomes antithesis. And I wouldn't want to know the word that to be used for them, because the main purpose of your being is to do certain things and you decide not to do it. But before I proceed, I want to say that for the media and the CSOs, your attention is register them. That is the focus of the media and the CSO. And probably that is maybe the reason why maybe you are quoting my chair. At that time he was CSO. But when you come into the kitchen, that is where you see that your responsibility changes. The thinking of the Commission is that it is to register people and also to protect the sanctity of the register. That is very, very important, which nobody is talking about. You are going to compile voters' register that will be used to determine who leads Ghana in all fronts. what goes into the register should be something that should not be, that can bring about issues. If you remember, in 2016, there were a lot of issues about the sanctity of the register, a lot of demonstration, what have you. The commission insisted that what we have could be used for the election, and it was done.
The police have picked one person in connection with the death of 18-year-old Georgina Agyemang at Emiem Nkwanta in the Bekwai municipality. The body was found half naked before Saturday noon at an uncompleted building few meters from her sister's home. Family is demanding thorough investigation from the police. The uncle of the deceased, Nana Kwating Amwening III, spoke to Joy News.
Was found, and not long ago the police were here to pick some evidence from this area. So now they've declared the place fit for use. Let's go again. This is the exact location where the remains of Georgina Agyemang, who went missing on Friday, was abandoned. According to family, she went to work, and returning from work, they had waited for her for long, so they decided to go on a search for her. So on Saturday, they found the mortal remains deposited here. I have with me here the family head, who would be speaking to us and giving us details of what actually happened. Over Joy News. Nana Akomuhine. Nana Akomuhine, Yamuakwaba Joy News. Nana Wofasina. We free mono. Wadaroma oba hatema omuhu body no. Sena nesite.
In fact, bla who say yahu body na ba ha me behwe nyame anum nie na makoma kwini ba man sunsumisun. Nti sene na body ni sida ho ne de na me hu say nipa bonefo bi na akodi wo fase na wunu mu de na beto. Because you chini ha nyina elia Friday no anadwo. Ye hu nti abo be 10 anopa be 10 wia no ebe pie no ena ma sister be kra no obebu nsuye so de kwashi wura no be woteatea mu na yehu ya be hwe na tese ade no hwe a saaka na ofro no Friday no wa misi no amne kudi sa mu yesam no mu de ne beto ho be 2 to 3 mo ho sa na me de me so jete madwene.
So the traditional authority, that's Akwamuhine of Bekwai here, is telling the Akwamuhine of Andrea Kwanta is the uncle of the deceased, and what he is suspecting is that on Friday, after they waited for her for quite some time, they decided to search for her because it's unusual. So they did search for her throughout the night. They were not fruitful. It was Saturday when they had started another search that a woman alerted the family that she has seen something like that deposited here. She had come to this area to fetch water. So she raised the alarm. They came and they found out that that is the remains of Georgina Agyemang. According to the traditional leader, he was very, very, very distraught because seeing such niece body in that position was something that he couldn't handle. So he shed some tears himself here, and he suspects that the vehicle that she boarded on, she had boarded on Friday after work, the occupants of the
Welcome back to JoyNews Today. To the rest of our stories. Today is International Equal Pay Day. The main objective is to accelerate the pace of closing the gender pay gap to achieve equal pay for work of equal value by 2030, a target of Sustainable Development Goal 8. This is central to the new social contract that demands fair wages, including minimum living wages, good quality climate-friendly jobs, and equality and inclusion for all. As we celebrate the day, experts are calling for 575 million new and decent jobs globally. They're also asking for 1 billion informal jobs where women are overrepresented to be formalized. The ILO estimates that investing in universal childcare and long-term care will create 280 million jobs by 2030, and it would boost the employment rate of women by 78%, and 84% of these jobs would be formal. Governments all over the world are being urged to help trade unions across the globe to achieve this goal. In Ghana, however, women are said to be paid 34.2% less than men. This is according to data from the first quarter of the 2022 Annual Household Income and Expenditure Survey. The gender gap is lowest among paid workers with tertiary education or more, where women earn 12.7% less than their male counterparts. The gender wage gap is highest among workers with basic education, which stands at 60.1%, followed by workers with no education, which stands at 54.0%. How do we then bridge the gap? In the private formal sector, the wage gap stands at 29.9%, while in the public sector, the gap stands at 10.5%. Thus, women paid 10.5% less than their male counterparts. Austin Game, who is former employment minister and labor relations expert, has been proffering some solutions.
The researchers or the findings by the Ghana Statistical Service might be good enough, but not representative of the reality on the ground. I work for a number of companies, both in private and public. When you talk about a wage structure or salary structure, it's one uniform structure, and therefore job evaluations are carried out, job analysis are made, people's job worth are determined, and they are placed on the ranges where they belong. The entry point is the only requirement from the beginning. Going forward, in the private sector in particular, where I do know, it is based on your level of productivity. And so therefore, I am highly troubled and amazed about the kind of information being placed in the public domain vis-a-vis, let's take the public sector as an example, 10.something% less than that of the men. It means the whole government machinery is being called into some kind of disorder. If you are, let's say, trained college teacher or a degree-holding teacher or a PhD holder teacher, so you are. And the placement on the structure is the same. If you enter today and you are placed on, let's say, level 21, and you are earning, let's say, 4,500, so it is for a woman, so it is for a man. Whether private sector or public sector, entry point is what is required based on your qualification, not necessarily experience, but the criteria that you meet. So I think that what they have done is okay, but they need to ventilate on their findings further with footnotes telling us a story about why are they being paid less than the men.
Members of the Pensional Bondholders Forum have rejected another attempt by government to rope them into the domestic debt exchange program. Government has announced that it is reopening the DDEP, particularly for investors who did not sign up in February. The Finance Ministry, in a statement, noted the opportunity will also cover holders of the ESLA PLC and Dachi Trust bond, but members of the Pensional Bondholders Forum are objecting the move. Dr. Eduana Entry is convener of the group. He's been speaking with my colleague James Aveji. He joins us live from the place. James Aveji, what have they been telling you?
When you look at that statement from the Finance Ministry dated 13th September, it categorizes persons who are, in fact, eligible holders, and it says that those include persons who are above 59 years, also part of the eligible holders. Now, that includes pensioners. And part of it are also, the Finance Ministry says that the only persons who are exempted with regards to that category are actually pension funds, which would mean that pensioners, members of the pensioner bondholders, are also part of that category. It is on this that they have just concluded a press briefing or a press conference objecting this move. They say that from the back and forth that we experienced in the past few weeks before they finally suspended their picketing at the Finance Ministry, an agreement had been reached between them and the government that they have been exempted from any form of domestic debt exchange program. And so they say that they do not understand why, after that agreement, they will be included in category B of that Ministry of Finance statement. And so they are saying that they do not want to be included in that. They also indicated that they have just submitted a letter to the Finance Ministry reminding them of an agreement they reached with them. And so they are hopeful that in the coming few days, the Finance Ministry will get back to them to tell them their status. And so what this means is that if they do not hear from the Finance Ministry on their status, they would go ahead to go back to the Finance Ministry to picket until a resolution has been agreed on. And so that's essentially what they've been saying. An agreement has been reached, and so there was no need including them in category B of that persons who should submit their bond for a new agreement. Failure to do that will go back to the Finance Ministry.
James Aveji is a man following the Pensioner Bond Forum. They say they will not agree for government to include them in any DDEP which is being proposed by government. Let's take a break on Joy News Today. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Pay attention to agriculture. That is the message of the Netherlands ambassador to Ghana, Jerome Verheul, to the government at the East-West Seed Foundation's program. Here is more.
East-West Seed Foundation's effort to help farmers have better yields from improved seeds is training farmers, extension officers, schools and input dealers on improved vegetable cultivation practices in the Bono region. Speaking at the foundation's learning farm at Abisim near Sunyai, Jimaimaja, manager of the foundation's knowledge transfer in Ghana, said farmers will learn to use simple technology to enhance yields and livelihoods.
It's one thing to buy hybrid seed. It's another thing to see the seed through the process that it needs to go through until it gives you good harvest. We provide capacity development to farmers by using small, simple technologies to use materials that are natural in the environment, like the types of mulch that you have observed here today. Cocoa leaves, rice straw, dry grass, corn husk. We are trying to promote those even more than the plastic mulch, because that one you have to spend money to buy. And so we believe that if farmers can use things that are in their environment, they can do small things like raise their cucumber plants and tomato plants from the ground, you can see the difference. There will be less fruits that will be rotten, and there will be more money that will be in their pockets.
To ensure sustainable farming, the business development manager of East-West Seed Foundation, Cohen Yvette, said the target is to train 10,000 farmers in the first year.
Agriculture is sometimes still seen as a punishment or a living for lack of alternative. We truly believe, and we have proven in Asia and also in Africa, that farming can be a very profitable business if you have the right access to knowledge and quality seeds. You can only build a sustainable business by uplifting the knowledge of the farmers. We invest to train the first year 10,000 farmers, the second year 20,000 farmers, to have a better knowledge of how to do farming profitably. Now, with the recent insecurity in Niger, you see the need for self-sufficiency.
After a tour of the learning farm, the Netherlands ambassador to Ghana, Jeroen Verheul, said agriculture is the mainstay of the economy and the government needs to offer the sector more attention.
Farmers are the most important part of the working population. They populate the rural areas, which is still the biggest part of Ghana. So they are very important for Ghana and for the Ghana economy and for the Ghana society.
Southwest X6 Limited is partnering the Pansong Cosmetics, a women's shea butter producing group, to add value to shea produce for cosmetics and other oils for export and domestic use. This, according to the company, is to help empower the women economically by offering them a stable income. This was made known when the British High Commissioner to Ghana, Harriet Thompson, visited the company. Here's more.
The Southwest 6 Limited was founded by two brothers, Aaron and Daniel Boachi, who are originally from the UK. The company, founded in 2017, works with women groups in the Northern and Upper East regions. As part of a working visit to the Northern region, the British High Commissioner, Harriet Thompson, visited the project site. Madam Harriet was taken to a tour of the processes the shea is produced and transformed to the various cosmetics.
That is the scale of our business, so it's a constant, growing work really.
So how are you getting on with your research work from the Dubai?
Yeah, so we actually just started to discuss it. We've been looking into it for a while, but we spoke to Adrian of Commission, and he said that, he'll talk to us and see if he can lead us to some of these issues that obviously determine what we're trying to do for the community. They'll be able to sort of do that, so we can engage with how many parties to sort of have discussions about. Yeah, that's the next big thing for us to really scale.
Co-founder of Southwest 6 Limited, Daniel Boachi, told Joy Business the company and the Pansong Women's Group is on a journey to educating the masses on the benefits of shea butter.
Products from the northern region, shea being one of the main commodities that we export in wholesale quantities. We export mainly to the UK, to SMEs. So we are here at the moment in Sagneragou. This is one of the main villages that we work in terms of the shea butter. We are also in the process of adding value to the shea butter because we believe that this will make us more attractive as a company. So we are adding value, we are adding carrier oils, we are also adding essential oils. And also by adding value, we are upskilling the women that we work with. We are adding to their already extensive expertise. We are on a journey, Southwest 6 and the Sagneragou Collective, we are on a journey to promote and educate the masses on the many benefits and uses of shea butter.
And that's all for business for now. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Sports is next. At 1 p.m, Marketplace will be on.
Let's do sports now on JoyNews Today with me, Muftao Nabila Abla. Accra House of Folk did not have the perfect start they were looking for in the 2023-2024 Ghana Premier League campaign after suffering a 1-0 loss at the hands of Real Tamale United. Well, many people say that this season might not be a good year for the Phobians, but board member Dr. Nyahonya Hotamaklo says that the vision of the club is to develop the players to be of a standard that will be get them to be able to compete at a continental level. He was speaking on Prime Take.
I can assure you that this particular season, what you see from our players, I'm telling you.
No, we've heard this one many times.
Oh, but I am now showing you.
We've heard this one many times.
Not from me, but I'm now telling you. But look, we pay a lot of money in House of Folk now if you are a good footballer. I'm not bragging. I don't think there's any club.
Minimum, how much does Hasafok pay its players?
I think we pay a lot of money.
Minimum. Is it 2,000 cities? Is it 3,000, 5,000 Ghana
We
cities?
pay a lot of money. You even ask the coach, why is everybody fighting to become a coach of a club? There are many things we give you, plus car and everything. No club can do it. And the money we give you, no club can do it. So people really fight to come. Recently, even when we advertise, you should have seen the number of people, local coaches.
So the appointment of your current coach was advertised?
Of course, we advertised all this.
Koofman replied, he applied for the job.
They do. Look, there is a committee that talks to them. When you advertise, those, of course, you shortlist.
Yes.
Those we think
you shortlist and you contact them.
Exactly. And then we have a Zoom discussions with them, those who are outside.
So what was that core thing that you considered in appointing Koopman as the head coach of Hasafok?
No, he has experience. Go and read his CV.
I have.
Yeah. And that's the type of coach we want now. A coach who can tell the footballer you are wrong and teach him the right thing to do. You follow me?
What target have you given to him?
Oh, target, he has to win his matches.
Winning the matches automatically will translate to winning the league.
Win his matches and be able also to get the boys who the whole nation can be proud of.
Meanwhile, the local organizing committee for Africa Games 2023, led by Dr. Asare, says that the games will happen effective March 8 and that they expect athletes to start arriving in Ghana on March 5 and on March 6 they will partake in the Ghana's Independence Day celebration, and then on 7 they take a rest, and then on the 8th the games will commence. About 8 different sporting disciplines are expected to serve as qualifiers for the Paris Olympic Games. We'll be sharing details of the local organizing committee's visit to Joy Sports earlier today in our subsequent bulletins. We appreciate your time. Up next is World News.
Still on JoyNews Today, this is the entertainment segment. And Big Chef on Sunday saw a gloomy atmosphere in the kitchen as representatives of the Accra Technical University bid farewell to other teams. So this week's episode saw the remaining team aggressively attack the task of the day assigned to them by the judges. Each team member was allocated 60 minutes to prepare a 4-course meal with dessert. Well, although all 4 teams pulled their weights and worked very assiduously to impress the judges with their skills in the kitchen, at the end, Accra Technical University painfully exited the show after 12 weeks. And Kumasi Technical University, after emerging Star School of the Week, joined Ho and Takrady Technical University to celebrate their success, entering the grand finale of the maiden edition of Big Chef Tertiary. Well, this is what you missed.
Last 3 that will go for the final. Cook as if your life depends on it. You have 60 minutes to prepare this meal. Your time starts now. I need to see some movement in the kitchen. Stop work! Big Chef Tertiary. The kitchen has no boundaries. Well done, guys. Kumasi Technical University.
Yes, Chef.
Thank you very much for improving. Well done.
Thank you, Chef.
Chicken is good. Your sauce too is good. But your rice is not for me.
The Star School of the Day goes to Kumasi Technical University once again. The school that is being evicted today is Accra Technical University.
Big Chef Tertiary. We'll see you at the finale.
And the finale is happening at Ho Technical University in the Volta region on the 1st of October and is going to be live 4 p.m. So if you want to be there in person, just make sure by 3 p.m. you're seated. And the winning school is taking home 20,000 Ghana cedi and also winning 10,000 liters of water in a tank from sponsors Syntex Tank, and also other interesting, wonderful gifts. And thinks they will win from sponsors? Well, let's shift our attention to Sefa, who has released a wonderfully beautiful song, Vibration. Yes, that's the title. And she says that she took the inspiration from Freddie Mayweather. Well, this is actually a Zoblazo remake. And she says the dance is already out there. So check out the dance and see if you can do anything like that to win something from Sefa.
You know, Mewe is somebody I've been listening to since I was very, very young. And then just to have him on this particular song, because this is more of like a remake of his song. So just to have him bless the song with a verse and give us the blessing to go ahead. That is why it is Mewe, because he is the only Freddie Mewe for the song.
Amazing. So share with me, how is the feeling like? Because you've been gone for a long while and you are back with a banger. Trust me. How is the feeling like?
The feeling is amazing, and it's good to be back with all the cameras and the lights and everything. Now I cannot even hide again. Look, I'm sitting like this, so I cannot even hide again. It's very good to be back, to be doing what I love to do, to be back in this space, and I can't wait to see what it has for me.
So give us a gist on how you're going to be pushing Vibration to make sure it meets where you want to see the song go.
Oh my God, we are doing a lot of things behind the scenes. Vibration, as you know, it is like just a single off my body of work that is coming out. So right now, it will be out on the 21st of September, but it's going places, guys. The dance challenge is already out. Make sure you go and stream whatever you want to do to it, share it with your friends, tell your mother about it, tell your father about it, because they know Zoplazo, so they'll dance to it. It's just a younger version or a younger remake of Zoplazo. So just enjoy it.
Well, the dance competition has already started here in the studio. Aisha, what were you doing?
Oh, I see, there's a pleasant.
So on Express, make sure that you are watching out, checking it out on all social media platforms and also digital streaming platforms. And probably you can do the dance better than Aisha is doing, maybe.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to mytonline.com for more of the news and developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.